We are live, I think.
We're live? Oh, geez.
So.
Oh, we're ready to start?
Oops, yeah.
Okay.
What's going down in China?
Let's get situated here.
All right.
Can you pull up the chat, Grim?
I can.
Yeah, we need to see the comments. Hi, guys! We're just getting situated, and we're going to hang for a while. And
I don't see the cursor, so give me a second to find it.
Okay.
You see it? There it is.
yeah, and then, just move the other screen over. Oh, Naoko's in the chat.
Naoko! Hey,
Hi, Naoko!
our apology. We wanted to give you a shout out on the Facebook show, but Naoko in the house tonight here on the Hangover on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you. I see Lofty Moose. I see Eric. I see Randy, Gary.
Eric Pickle says giggity, giggity, giggity.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, my dupo was on the camera.
Oops.
Well, I'm not wearing any pants today. I'm wearing shorts. So it's no pants day, I guess. I have the Ghoularty sweatshirt on.
And you have your house shoes on?
Yeah, and I'm wearing my house shoes, you know.
Yeah, your slippers.
Something comfortable and kind of boring and plain.
She does a garden. That's what she does her gardening in, you know?
Yeah. I vacuum in these.
I think the mummy needs to be no pants all the time.
But it's cold here in Cleveland, Ohio. We're getting
snow
overnight. So I at least wanted to be warm with a sweatshirt. And this sweatshirt was sent to us by Rob Wise. So thank you, Rob. He also
as well
sent
as his t-shirt.
Grimm a t-shirt. So for people that are tuning in right now that have no idea what the heck we are and what we're doing, let's introduce ourselves and then we can continue on. I'm Janet Decay, Cleveland's Yummy Mummy.
And I'm Grimm Gorri, Cleveland's something something.
Cleveland's Funky Monkey.
There you go.
There you go.
Cleveland's missing link. I don't know.
Cleveland's late night missing link.
And together we host
The Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout.
And now you're watching
The Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover.
Oh boy, wow. Okay.
We had an awesome episode on our Facebook page, The Mummy and the Monkey. We live stream on Facebook and on YouTube, usually every Friday night, sometimes on Wednesday nights here on YouTube as well.
10 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m. Eastern time, yeah. And we played the movie Spider Baby.
The Sid Haig classic, yeah.
And hosted that with some fun sound effects. We played some comedy skits.
Gave away some cool prizes.
Gave away a prize. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you're new to this, just join us next week.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. To quote the Evil Dead, join us, join us.
Join us.
That's right. Yeah, so now we do the Hangover, which is the after sort of, you know, it really doesn't connect to the last show unless we talk about something that has to do with the movie or something that we were talking about there. But usually we have a unique topic to discuss during the Hangover, right?
Right. So with, with the plague going on, and pretty much every event being canceled.
Well, I have to say, it has not species jumped to me yet.
No, not to monkeys
maybe
yet.
to you mere humans, but not to the monkeys. Or maybe even dead
And
mummies.
I don't know if mummies can get it.
But
I don't want to know. We'll
I don't want to find out.
Yeah, we're going to play it safe.
But so far, so goody good. All right?
Yes. So yeah, with everything going on and a lot of events being canceled, we wanted to kind of remind the fans that there are virtual conventions going on, meaning that you can hang with us on YouTube, Facebook. There's different Facebook groups, like there's the Big Chuck and Little John Facebook group, the Ghoularty Fest group, where people can comment and discuss and share things. And if you're a vendor, if you're an artist, it's a great way to connect, and that way, maybe you could sell your stuff online. Maybe fans can buy autographs from people online. And just share their love of these classic movies.
Okay, so now I love this part of I love this show because now I can get into talking to people.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually driving the whole Hairy Scary Hangout.
Less stuff.
There's
for Grimm
cool
to do.
stuff. So we're saying it's cold here, right? In Cleveland, Ohio, right in the northeast Ohio.
Yeah,
we had snow today.
Yeah, they're saying half an inch of snow overnight.
But Naoko says it's nice and warm in Japan. Finally.
Oh, how nice!
So, look. I would love to go. We have never been to Japan.
I would love to visit Japan.
At some point, I'm hoping we can meet you, Naoko, sometime. It would be really cool.
Yes,
if not,
we'd love to have a beer with Naoko sometime.
Maybe even do a live show from there.
That would be awesome.
We went to Germany and France as
Yeah.
the Mummy and the Monkey one time, and we did some stuff there.
We did, and that was a lot of fun.
So maybe one day Japan will be one of the things that we put on our our bucket list, right?
Oh yeah, it would be. We want At some point, yeah, we'd love to travel
So James
to many
Wimmer,
places.
James Wimmer has a really interesting going. He has something called the M&M Lockdown Bar. Okay, love it. I wish I
The
could
Mummy
come
and
visit
Monkey
you.
Lockdown
At some
Bar?
point, I hopefully could visit the Lockdown Bar.
That's funny.
Call it that even after the lockdown. That'd be great.
Oh, it's his like pretend bar.
Yeah, Wimner thinks this is the best show. Hey, you know what?
Naoko says she loves beer. Aw.
Cheers, Naoko. I have to get some of the Japanese beer she has. She posted.
Oh yeah, what's the name of Asahi?
Asahi, yeah.
Asahi, yes, that one's pretty
We
good.
could probably find that. There's a beer store.
Asahi beer.
We'll have to get, maybe next time we do a show, we'll have Asahi beer. We'll do it. But cheers, Naoko, and everybody else out there.
Cheers. Yatta.
Yeah, beer is good. Takes your mind off a lot of things.
Cool.
What's the theme tonight? Albert wants to know.
Oh, okay, so the theme is...
Good question, Albert.
I started to talk about it a little bit. Ways that we can connect even though there's no in-person conventions right now.
Right.
So different ways that we can connect with, like let's say you collect autographs and you were hoping to meet your guest, those special guests at the conventions. You might be able to email them or go on their website and order an autograph until you can see them in person. Or let's say there's a vendor that you really like and you see it, you know, that favorite convention you go to. You can look them up and see if that you can order something from them online. That way you're still supporting that independent actor or that small business, but, you know, you're not giving everyone germs. You're not giving each other germs.
Well, I keep going back to the chat, so there's a lot of stuff
So
going on
we
right
could
now.
talk a little bit about that, and we could go to the chats
interesting,
too.
yes. So Thrift Reader wants to thank us for reminding him that he cannot go to Japan this year.
Thrift Reader's a she.
That she can't go to Japan this year.
And thank
Now,
you for watching Thrift Reader.
yes.
And I'm sorry.
We don't.
We all want to go to visit Japan.
We're not the first people, I'm sure, to remind you of that, but you
Yeah.
know, but it's like one of those things. Yeah, and it does stink. Sorry.
Sapporo's good too. That's another beer, right?
Whoa, no, Eric, you can't do that. I'm not gonna put that.
Don't read that. Don't read that.
You bad boy.
Yeah. Yeah, don't put that one up.
James Winter, Baba Booey, Baba Booey,
Baba Booey.
Papa Fohai, Mama Monkey, Mama Monkey,
Mama Monkey. Mummy Monkey.
Sapporo. Oh yeah.
Oishi.
Is Sapporo? Is that a beer, or is that sake?
Sapporo. I think that's
a
another,
beer.
That's another beer.
That's a beer.
Yeah,
I've
that's
had
a
that.
beer.
I've had it.
I've had Asahi and Sapporo, I believe.
James Winter is like on a Howard Stern kick.
That's funny. We do like Howard Stern. we
Yeah.
used to listen to Howard Stern a lot.
I like all those characters: Jeff the Drunk, Beetlejuice.
All the characters are wacky.
Gary, they call him something now. Gary,
Yeah.
you know, not Baba Booey, but Gary the low functioning adult. I think they call him now. Something stupid like that.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, Sapporo is good.
Hit those thumbs up, says Thrift Reader. Thank you, Thrift Reader.
Bobby, okay.
If you guys like the
yeah.
eBay videos that we do, you're going to dig the eBay videos that the Thrift Reader does. She has a channel too, and she finds some really cool vintage things. So, really nice lady and some cool stuff. But yeah, hit the like button, guys, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. We appreciate you.
I think people are like imbibing right now, so everything's about beer and drinking, but that's okay.
Well,
it's a hangover, so
yeah, it is the weekend. But it's funny, like, I think the days have been blurring together for a lot of people. So I think the weekend is like every other day now.
There you go. Whose crank calls are the best?
Which is better, Janet, Asahi or Sapporo?
We'll have to do a taste test.
You know, it's...
But I would say yes.
It's been a long...
My answer would be yes.
They're both good, but it's been a long time since I drank them. So I think I'm going to have to see if one of the liquor shops can order that beer for us.
We'll track it down. We'll do a taste test,
Yeah,
all right?
because we'll have to buy those and do a taste test.
Bo.
And we'll have to do that on YouTube.
Randy Helsel says, since the lockdown, he has spent about $300 on buying crap. You're actually getting off cheap. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, there's people...
And $300, that's what a lot of people would normally spend at a convention.
Hey, I'm with Ellen Blum. I do like Old Style. I like that beer.
Old Style's all right, yeah.
Thanks to the TV show Shameless. I got turned on to
that show is so bad.
We've already talked about that here, so we'll skip that.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about...
What I tried to... Yeah.
Was Conventions.
How we can still connect even though there's no horror conventions or sci-fi or comic book conventions going on right now.
I'm sorry. I read this here. It says, Captain Videotube says, DTF is awesome when it's NPN. No pants mommy. TA Tap Beer was the bomb. All that stuff. You know what, you
no
guys...
No pants mommy.
You guys are entertaining us. Thank you.
NPM.
Yeah, I love it. NPM. No
I'm
pants,
technically
mommy.
wearing shorts, not pants.
Right. It's a technical thing.
Yeah.
She is wearing something covering things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dressed. I'm just not wearing pants.
No, now Oko wants to know what is Old Style. Old Style is a beer that is made in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a Chicago, Illinois beer. So it's an American beer.
Yeah, but
yeah.
It's cheap. You know, it's
a cheap beer. But it's good.
Cheaper than Budweiser. That's how cheap it is.
Pabst Blue Ribbon is a good cheap beer.
It's on the same level as PBR,
yeah.
You know, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Old Style, Schlitz, all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, if you drink too much Schlitz,
You'll get the Schlitz.
You'll get the Schlitz, yeah.
But yeah, Old Style beer, it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's just rice beer.
I like Irish beer too. Like
yeah, your favorite is
Guinness. Guinness is a really good Irish beer.
The beer you have to drink with a fork and a knife.
Yeah, it's a higher content and it's like flavorful. It's not like
It's not Flavor Flav?
No, it's not flavorful.
Flavorful. Okay.
Flavorful.
There's a difference.
But it's not like a watery beer. It's definitely a little more sophisticated.
Yeah, Hams is cheaper than anything,
yeah.
and their beers do go down. America does have some cheap beers.
There's a lot of cheap beer in America.
Crap, I don't say it's crap because whoever works for you.
But a lot of it's good. I mean, a lot of it's, decent. Olympia.
Naoko liked your joke, the Schlitz beer.
Oh, nice.
Corona is good. I like Corona with the lime.
Oko likes Guinness too. I love Guinness.
Oh, Guinness is great. I mean, it is good.
There's a Guinness
Blonde.
Guinness Blonde is a little bit of a lighter version, and that's pretty good.
It's not light. It just has it's a different.
Well, it is a little bit lighter. It's not as heavy. Yeah. Not as heavy. Yeah.
I think it's gonna turn into a beer.
I think this might be the beer discussion right now.
Little Kings, that's real cheap, but
I've never had that one.
They come in the little green bottles. They're real good.
What was the German beer I liked? There were a couple German beers.
Weimeister or whatever it is with the W.
I don't remember the names of them.
Now, okay, Great Lakes is good, but you have to have that. That is a real beer.
Great Lakes is a Cleveland, Ohio beer, and that is really good like Guinness.
Now, there are beer.
Yeah.
There's beer and then there's beer, right?
Yeah, Great Lakes beer is awesome.
I happen to be very lowbrow, and people make fun of me because I like Bud Light, right?
Yeah.
But I like a lot of different stuff.
And none of them have endorsed us.
No.
We're only talking on opinion.
Yeah, we're talking about opinion.
Yeah.
Now, but there's a lot of craft beers I like.
Mm-hmm.
And but some of the Cleveland brewery stuff are a little bitter for me.
Yeah.
But we don't like IPAs though, right?
Mm-mm. It's too hoppy. It's like kind of strong for me. I'm not a fan of that hops.
Eric, you're right. Eric Pickle, Yinling is good.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing about Yinling, that is a Pittsburgh beer,
that used to be a
beer.
Pennsylvania only, and for a long time you could only buy it in Pennsylvania.
If you asked for it in Cleveland, people would freak out, the bar people. But when I lived in other places in the country...
Until about when? Like maybe 10 years ago?
Maybe 10 years ago.
They started selling it everywhere.
Different parts of the country, they would have Yinling, and it would be like a no big thing. I'm like, this is really good. It's not too heavy. It's not really light. It's like almost like a nice little like mid beer. That's not it's like a brew beer, but it's not like a rice beer. Like I don't think it's like Bud Light.
Right.
But if you come to Cleveland and ask for a Yinling, they look at you cross-eyed.
Yeah, because
until now they serve it all the time. But
some people will still look at you funny because they think, well, why are you ordering Yingling? You should be ordering Great Lakes.
Because of the Pittsburgh
You're in
Steelers.
Cleveland. You should order a Cleveland beer.
It's the football. It's the football thing.
Because of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns whole thing. The sports rivalry, I guess.
Thrift Reader. This is turning into a beer chat.
It is. It's kind of funny.
Thrift Reader does not like IPAs either. I tried them. They're too hoppy.
It's not for everybody. I'm not a fan of it either. All right, so...
One good question that has nothing to do with beer.
Yeah.
Where can I watch the Monster Channel? Okay, so you have to go to Erie Late Night TV, right?
I think it's, Erie Late Night TV, and then they have a channel on Roku. Or you could watch on their website.
I would say start on the Facebook page. Look up Erie,
or look up Monster Channel on Facebook. And
Google Monster Channel.
It'll have the link on there. Because the link is a little bit different than the title.
Right, it's not monsterchannel.com.
Yeah.
I think it's ErieLateNightTV.com. And that they have the Monster Channel. But you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just Google Monster Channel and you'll find it. All right,
James, only
Zima.
Zima. Oh my goodness.
I remember that in the Cleveland Clubs back in the 90s.
To answer James's question, only medicinal.
What?
I don't want to read that out loud.
Oh, why is it? All right, weed. Oh, what are we talking about now?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Coors Light. I don't know about enough. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't say no to a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So the convention thing, there is an online horror con group.
It's a lot of vices.
Yeah, I was originally trying to. There is an online horror con group and a lot of horror film hosts, artists, bloggers, reviewers. They share things on there. So that's a good resource if you are missing the conventions, but you still want to connect with the people that are in the community.
Right. There are some things popping up now. I'm just saying. I had this idea several months ago before all this hit.
Yeah.
Wondering if it would be possible, because to put a convention together, a physical convention at a actual, location is very expensive, and a lot of stuff you have to wrangle, make sure it goes okay. But with the advent of the internet and the way things are, and the connection's so good now, right? People are doing Zoom chat now.
Yes.
And before that, they were able to actually conference call. Probably almost 20 years ago. But now it's even better, right? The connections and everything.
I mean, you could do everything on your phone now. So
why not come up with a virtual convention? But
that
was a little whim. I'm sure many people thought of this.
Well,
but,
and that's I think a lot of people are thinking of that with
but
what's
now,
going on now.
This is I mentioned that to you before this all came down, before the whole pandemic
I remember that.
came down. And I was kind of mulling over because there's something you could do like that. I mean, that way it won't cost us anything to like run a hall and even have people come on. You got to convince any guests or any vendors to say, hey, if you hook up with us, come. You'll be vendors on our registered vendors on a website that would have a virtual convention.
Right.
Where on one or 2 days for several hours, you'd be all online at the same time. And if people want to buy your autographs or your merchandise, blah, 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 they can do that. And then the pandemic hit, and then after that, murder hornets. But that's a whole other thing.
Gosh.
But anyway.
Just one thing after another.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, 2020. That's what it is.
Ugh.
So, but these types of things are starting to pop up now for real. Like virtual conventions.
Virtual conventions. And then I'm seeing more people... like there's all these different Facebook groups for horror films, classic sci-fi movies, Comic-Con type of things. So they've always been active, with that. But I'm seeing even more activity now. People are commenting, posting, sharing. So it's cool, It's a great way to connect.
So it's funny. This totally started turning into like, what's your favorite drink? Thing. Huge, like boom, boom, boom.
I know.
Now
we always talk about food or drink.
But we're like a 5-year-old taking a semi-wheel, and we're trying to take control of this big thing. Okay, but people did now. But now we're talking about that. But look what people are saying.
What?
It ain't the same. I miss the smell of the crowd. I get it. Totally get it.
The smell of the crowd.
Yes. No.
Some people need a deodorant.
Let me tell you. Let me not confess, but say something. At some point,
we miss it too. We really do.
So when we go to Cinema Wasteland,
we do. I agree.
One of the things I loved about Cinema Wasteland, they had many different vendors. They had DVD vendors. They had independent film vendors. They had clothing vendors.
Right.
They even had people with stuff that they would make, like homemade jewelry, sometimes incense. And one thing that permeated the Cinema Wasteland, I smelled incense there, like very heavy.
Oh yes, because there was always someone there selling incense or
something.
Some type of there was the lady that would sell all the nice fancy like scented soaps that
and
were
oils and stuff, right?
Shaped like like Chucky or Jason or whatever.
So my early experiences not going to many places was with Cinema Wasteland. So I would smell that smell. So when I created this costume, when I did my Grimm Gorri apparel, I took some. It was like some Indian incense.
Nag Champa?
Yeah, Nag Champa. That reminded me
really good.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I folded up a couple of sticks and would put it. There might be even some in my pocket here. I wonder if there is.
To try to get it to smell. So smell like Wasteland.
Right. So wherever I go, I would smell some sort of like some sort of incense or something. What do I got in my? I got some stuff that people gave us. some little memory.
Little trinkets.
Yeah, little trinkets.
I'm just trying to read the comments.
I wonder if I have any. Oh, ouch.
Zoom just doesn't feel the same as seeing people, but it's better
It's
than
not.
nothing since we don't know when conventions can come back.
So in the interim.
Good point, Thrift Reader. And Grimm and I thought about this.
Look at that. What is that? That's a piece of incense, right?
A piece of incense, yeah.
It's lost its smell now, but there's a piece of incense right there. Proof positive. I'm not BSing you. That's the real deal.
Naoko says she's allergic to sandalwood incense.
Oh, I love.
Yeah, some people have allergies to certain things like that.
See, I like patchouli and sandalwood are my two favorite, like sort of earthy, sort of hippie smells.
Dave says, "What about a drive-in movie convention?" Oh.
Well, what do you sit in your car and then what? Who could come up to you?
Well, you could at least wave at each other, and it's kind of in person. Maybe there could be a stage where the guests can go on stage and you keep a safe distance.
So,
but there are people that are trying to bring the drive-ins back. I think maybe the movie theater should switch to drive-ins. That would be awesome for summertime.
So Frank Holt asked an interesting question. Would you like to read it?
Yeah. Do you like Vincent Price flicks?
Oh.
Duh. We love Vincent Price movies.
Duh, not in a bad way, but
no, not in a bad way. Yeah, I just said
Vincent
that to
Price
be funny.
is like up here. He's like in the top 5. Okay.
I mean, who doesn't love Vincent
with
Price?
He's right up there with Karloff and Lugosi. Come on. I mean, yeah, Vincent Price is one of the true masters of horror. He's totally an inspiration to anybody. I mean, you can't not like him and be in this genre.
And his daughter is very sweet.
Yes,
Victoria
on top of all of it.
Price is very nice. Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah, she's Victoria Price is very nice. Lois says, "Come." Oh, okay. Come on.
Set up outside the
she
car
doesn't
like
miss the smell of
Memphis
the crowd.
Drive-In.
No. I love the best steamed up windows.
Drive-ins are coming back. There's rumor that there's people that want to bring drive-ins
They
back.
are, yes.
And there are still some drive-in theaters around Ohio.
Mama Monkey's here. Hi, Mama Monkey.
Hi, Mama Monkey.
Hi, guys. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're hanging out with the people. Say hello to everyone on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. How are you?
Trust me, they heard you. They can hear that door open. They can hear you.
Yeah, they hear all those.
I hear everything. I'm sneaking out.
That's okay. Yeah, you know what? So Captain Video 2, I missed the bootleg DVD vendors.
Yeah.
And before that, the VHS vendors.
The
VHS
VHS vendors, and then there's always like the one vendor at a convention where it's kind of set up like a flea market, and it's all kinds of random, and I love looking through those tables. So yeah, I miss stuff like that. Heck, I miss flea markets.
A lot of high moms.
Aw.
Yeah, she sneak out to have a little smoky dokey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite things, besides getting real cheap, release DVDs, were all the, some of the, the vendors that had some stuff that was, not the stuff that people videotaped in a movie theater with a camcorder, not that crap.
But let's say if there's a hard to find VHS,
they're never there.
That was never put out on DVD.
Right.
Some of these vendors would put them on DVD and
you can find that
sell
online.
them. Yeah.
I've ordered stuff online from that. They send you that that white or silver DVD that's been a DVD-R that they burned some obscure movie on
with their homemade printed cover.
Yeah,
yeah.
Even if you get that, sometimes it's plain nothing, no cover art, nothing.
I mean,
so,
we're not, we don't endorse bootlegging.
I loved it.
But some stuff they never put out on DVD.
The difference was like back in the 90s. Like, if you bought a VHS, forget about DVD, because that wasn't easy to do back then. But if you bought a VHS copy with a plastic, cover and the artwork, from a color copy artwork, that thing would cost you $20 at least, if it wasn't something rare.
Yeah.
And who knows what generation copy it was? If they're not playing it on a little sample TV, a sample of it on a television, you have no idea till you got home what kind of copy you got. DVDs now, when you go to some of these shows that. When you could go to some of these shows, when they would have a bunch of stuff, the quality, but it didn't really matter about the quality because it'd be like $5 a piece. It'd be cheap, so you can spend like $30 to get like a buttload of stuff.
John says, "Ever go to Jamie's Flea Market in Elyria?" That's a good one. Yes, we have been to Jamie's. I think a handful of times, and we found some good things there. But I think we were liking Berea and Hartville more.
Right.
If I had to pick two, that are my favorite fleas.
Creaky door.
Yeah. It's
They can hear everything. I
you know,
love it.
the doors here are all creaky here at the Erie Cemetery.
I will let Mom know that you all said hi. That'd be great. She
Aw.
would appreciate it.
Late Horse Show's here in the chat.
What's up, Dino?
He says, I remember the person who walked a fox on the leash. Oh, he had a pet fox he walked on the leash at the Memphis flea market.
Yeah, there's always these characters that show up at these flea markets, right?
Yeah, there's always, yep. Oh, shh.
Oh, Ham's beer right there.
Careful, Grim.
I'm trying to hide it all. Here we go.
All right. Gary says he's a regular at Jamie's flea market.
Oh, we know, Gare. We know you're the man there.
Well, and that's like, yeah, that's closer to him.
John Biggins. He used to work concession at the Memphis Flea Market.
Aw.
Memphis Flea Market was such a great place.
See, I never went to the Memphis flea market. I remember the drive-in.
Oh,
And
I
then
went to both.
Worcester, Ohio had a drive-in theater, and I don't know if it's still around, but I remember going to see like one of the Scooby-Doo movies there, and it was like a double feature. There was like some other movie with it. I don't remember the name of it. But it was a lot of fun. I think only went there like a couple times.
One of the coolest things I ever bought at the Memphis Flea Market, now the Memphis Flea Market was actually a drive-in called Memphis Drive-In. That was, it was kind of put out of business a bunch of years ago. But when they didn't have the drive-in movies going on, like on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, during the day before you could actually show a movie, they would have the flea market, go on there.
So the flea market was during the day.
Oh yeah.
And then the movies at night.
One of the coolest things I bought there, and I still have it, there's a couple of VHS cassettes that somebody made, VHS tapes with Ghoulardi and the Ghoul stuff on it.
The one in Worcester got torn down 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so they might have gotten torn down shortly after I went.
Now, what's funny is that like these things are a thing now. Like if there are any like
wasn't there one in Wadsworth, Ohio too?
a lot of
I
W
don't.
names in Ohio.
Yeah, I don't remember there are like maybe one or two that are still around in Ohio. I just don't remember the city.
Yeah, the Mario guy. Okay, so Albert's talking about the Mario guy. I saw him in Lakewood standing outside of some shop on, I think it might have been Detroit, like waving something around.
Oh, the Super Mario guy. We've
Yeah.
seen him. Yeah.
He's still around. I don't know who he is, but he's still around.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but the cool thing about going to the Memphis Flea Market was that it was during the day, right? Like on the weekend. And then later on you go see a movie at night there. But
Cool.
But a lot of those facilities, if they're still up there being used now for like what, churches? Or meeting places, like people can come to do a service.
Yeah, I heard some
stuff like
church
that.
services are doing drive-in events, and then I guess for some graduations now they're doing like a drive-through thing.
So all you cities and states out there that have a drive-in movie theater, don't tear them down.
Yeah, don't tear them down.
They're still a use.
We need to open those this summer.
Maybe now more than ever to see a movie.
Yeah, I think that might be the only way people can go see
On a big screen.
Well,
screens are pretty good now. But.
We'll see. Maybe things will get better. We want them to be. We want things to be.
Yeah, they're still. I think
healthier.
drive-ins are going to come back. I think that could be a thing.
That would be really cool.
They were ahead of the curve.
Hey, what's old can be cool again, right?
That's our motto.
That's our motto. Some do concerts. Oh, you could do a drive-in concert. That's a good idea.
Whatever works.
North Ridgeville has one, says Late Horror Show. Awesome. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Maybe Grim and I could go see a movie.
So we were talking about, like, before you were kind of fleshing some ideas out about, like, even how guests, like, people that could have been guests at places, at conventions, could kind of do a Zoom thing or be online and sell their merchandise, right? Via PayPal or some others.
So a lot of the actors that would normally be guests at these conventions,
and sell autographs or whatever,
they could probably do like a live feed and maybe sell their autographs on their website and do like a fan interactive thing. I mean, that's just an idea that I don't know if people are doing it.
It might be different if you're not there to get the thing and talk to the person. That's only.
I know it's not the same.
But it could be because look.
I know.
Think about it.
It could be a great way for those people to still talk and interact with the fans, that way they sell some autographs.
If they sat there with their webcam and their or their laptop and webcam, right, and they were able to invite people into their private chat, you could say, so and so is this celebrity is accepting people to come in now and talk to them.
Yeah.
And you could talk to them one-on-one in the video chat, and they could send you an autograph thing. You got to pay postage and all that. It's a little bit more of a hassle, but at least you get what you want, and there's no contact there for now. What I don't want, what I would hate for this to ever turn into, obviously, is the point where people don't ever interact with each other.
No, we want people to, you know.
To be able to go to those conventions and smell the smells. Now you miss that BO, don't you?
I don't.
That,
one thing I don't miss is the BO.
No, you do.
When you would go to a convention, there was always that one smelly person.
But you know what?
You know who you are.
I miss that smelly MF right now.
Go take a shower.
I would trade everything.
Put some deodorant on.
I would trade the situation now to smell that smelly guy or smelly girl.
Not hating anyone,
and
not being mean.
I do have stories.
It's for everyone's
Give me the experience. I'm with these people.
It's a courtesy to everyone to practice safe hygiene practices and wear deodorant.
You know what? At this point, I could give it up. If I would trade giving up deodorant to have the conventions back. I would.
But Ellen's laughing at me. But it's true. You go to a convention, and there's always that one stinky person.
I think Albert's talking about that old commercial. B.O.
Sure.
No,
unsure.
I want stinky versus nothing. So.
Oh, gosh.
That's just the Grimm Gorri in me. Sorry.
What are the other comments?
So many comments.
Ray says there's still a Mayfield Road drive-in.
It's going to drive-in talk now.
Yeah.
From beer talk to drive-in talk.
I guess in Warren, Ohio, they have a drive-in.
There is one there still. Yeah.
That's cool.
There was one on Miles Avenue here in Cleveland. But I don't know if it's still around.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'd have to do some research.
Some of those Janet's rings.
Oh, thank you. So I have some asps.
Oh, show them your asps.
I'll show you my asps.
Stand up and show everybody your asps.
How's that on the? Some snake rings. I don't know how well that shows up.
She's not wearing pants.
And I'm not wearing pants. I have shorts on.
Hey-oh.
And my Goulardi sweatshirt. Woo!
Oh, good movies there, Will Chrisman. The Land That Time Forgot and Star Crash. A great movie.
Oh,
Caroline Munro, your
Star
favorite.
Crash. Oh, I love that movie. I love the cowboy robot. The robot that talks like a cowboy. It's a spaghetti sci-fi movie. It's so awesome.
Ellen thinks you have a nice asp.
Oh, thank you, Ellen. Oh, it's funny.
Somebody, Captain Videotube needs some high karate. That cologne from the 70s. Oh, yeah, that gets you some chicks.
That's funny.
I used to, Connie Cleary, Ellen Bloom, Canoe. I used to wear Canoe and Brute as a little ape. Remember Brute?
Yeah.
That still smells good.
Those were like the colognes you would buy at Kmart.
Canoe doesn't smell that bad. I remember that. I used to love that stuff. That was when I was a real young ape.
You'd buy those like gift sets.
Eric Pickle's getting hot.
from Kmart back in the day.
Thank you, Alan.
What is your favorite patch on your jacket? Says Naoko. That's a good question.
Is it a patch or is it a?
She's asking what your favorite patch is
I thought
on your jacket.
Where's yours?
Which one's your?
Who gets yours?
She's asking about yours. Though.
My favorite patch. Naoko, I never really thought about that. There's a couple of things that I really do like on here. Let me see. Well, I can't. Well, I don't know. There's a lot. Everything's opposite when I look at the camera. I think maybe the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones one?
Yes, I love.
That's cool.
People say, "Are you a Beatles?"
Well, I don't know. What about the one on your back here?
Well, come on, that's Mummy and the Monkey. I can't say that. That's too obvious. No,
you also have a Goulardi.
I do it. Well, Goulardi. Yes. Well, that's from a T-shirt, I think.
Yeah, you made a Goulardi patch.
There's a Goulardi. See, that's the back. This is my old original jacket. I got a big.
Oh, and you have a big Chuck and Little John patch on your butt.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff
on your monkey butt.
Yeah, no, you can't. They can't see it. You can't though. That's all for you. But I don't. Naoko, I think maybe one of my favorite. The Goulardi patch is my favorite. But for everyone that knows, nobody knows what that is. I mean, not everyone does. But Rolling Stones, my favorite over the Beatles. Just saying. People used to say, "Are you a Beatles guy?
Fan, yeah.
Are you a Stones?" I'm a Stones fan. More than the Beatles.
I love the Beatles and the Stones.
I don't own any Beatles records or CDs. I don't.
I have a couple of Beatles records.
I'm a Stones guy.
But I like the Stones too.
They have a little more of an edge. They're a little rougher, They're a little more bluesy, and they did the whole.
They're both like Lay's potato chips. You can't just eat one. I like both of them.
I'll show you a record later that the Stones put out that was super controversial. That the Beatles kind of did have a little bit of a weird thing going on with the record backwards. You play one of those songs that says Paul is dead, love him, miss him, miss him.
Oh yeah, weird stuff.
Yeah, they had that, but the Stones even had a better record.
Which one?
It's called Her Satanic Majesty's Secret Service or something like that. But I have it. It's pretty good. Crazy stuff. Not that I'm into that, but I'm just saying. But they would ride that thing before Ozzy did. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Wacky stuff.
Yeah, Stones are great.
Beatles overrated, says Naoko. Wow.
Thank you, Naoko. Just saying. They're good, but there's better stuff out there.
Well, the Beatles did a lot of covers of other songs, which isn't necessarily bad, but...
Yeah, I don't not like the Beatles. I mean, I know all the songs everybody knows.
They're both good, so I don't want to get too crazy with that.
Yeah, Ellen Blum's talking about that the Stones. It's Her Majesty's Satanic Service, but it's one of those lenticular albums.
Yeah, with the hologram.
It's really weird. Yeah, it totally threw everybody off. Everyone got all weirded out about it, but whatever. Yeah, Creed's CCR is great.
CCR's good.
Good sound. I mean, you know them when you hear them.
I really love Blue Oyster Cult. I like if we're talking about classic rock, I love Blue Oyster Cult.
I'm all thinking.
We're all over the place with our discussions.
It's called Her Satanic Majesty's Request, and I own an original copy of that. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, only the older drug fueled Beatles are good. I agree. All that She Loves You,
Yellow Submarine, yeah.
That's drug fueled.
Like the hippie Beatles.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's very weird.
Stones and Beatles, everyone did. Everyone wanted to be Little Richard and Chuck Berry back then. Those guys really, really dug those early blues musicians and rock and roll musicians. Little Richard, Chuck Berry. You name it. That's all they wanted to do. Even even Elvis and Buddy Holly.
Well, and Elvis was inspired heavily by, of course, blues and gospel and stuff.
Well, but they did their own thing with them.
And what started all of that was the blues music. Blues started that all.
So if
the devil's music.
So I would. So if you want me to choose an era over a band, I would take the '60s. Period. I would take the 60s era bands, all of them, over any of the bands. 70s is real tight because, you still have like all that really cool folk stuff and Van Halen and that kind of stuff. And the early, punk. Forget about.
Okay. Punk is great too. But
I love punk. But punk technically started in the 60s with MC5. Just saying.
Yeah, MC5 kind of started that whole thing.
Oh my gosh, it did. You got to watch some of those early performances in the late 60s.
Kick out the jams.
All that stuff. You see those crowds, they didn't even know what to think about what they were doing. Really cool. They were the forefathers. But the Doors, see, that's what I'm saying. If I took a decade, right?
The Doors, they're all right.
I'm not a big Doors fan, but some of the stuff's really trippy.
I mean, it's likable.
Yeah,
I just never
Buddy Holly was a technical genius and a musical genius. He created the multi-track recording studio. Mm-hmm. It's something that doesn't even...
Wow, people are getting way into the music discussion.
See, I can even stuff Motown into the 60s. See, I got to...
Oh, Motown music is awesome.
Come on. I mean, you can't
I love Motown music.
Isley Brothers, Tina Turner. I mean, you can't... The Shirelle... You can't not put that in.
The Supremes.
So if I took a decade, I would take the 60s. Musically, for me. Because all that stuff bleeds into it that I like. Molly Hatchet, were they at least late 60s? I do like
I would probably pick the 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
But all that stuff was spawned by the 60s and 70s.
Well, I love Queen. I love Bowie.
Yeah, that's tough.
They got really big in the 80s.
But Bowie technically was late 60s, wasn't he?
Well, 70s, right?
Early 70s.
70s. Same with... Well, Queen was... I don't know. I would think 80s because it was such a weird time.
Ska band music is pretty good, but but to me it's like almost like reggae in that it's very niche and like this... It's kind of like, interchangeable. It's not that it's bad. But I just don't know. There's not a lot of variation for me there. But maybe I need to listen to ska.
I think 80s because people did a lot of weird stuff in the 80s music-wise.
But ska and punk, I know, sort of kind of interact there at some point, and you get all these different things from that. So it's tough. It really is tough. It's tough until you get to the 90s and 2000s. Then it's not tough anymore.
Yeah,
that's all garbage.
Maybe once you get past 1998, it's like.
Sorry, Billie Eilish.
There's not a lot of good music.
Look, I know you're a millionaire. Okay, that's
There's not a lot of good new music.
Who cares? Pat Boone. That's in the 60s.
Yeah.
And he was the first DIB guy, right? DITB. And figure that
Okay.
out.
So we
I'm not
need to
done
try
talking.
to shift to.
I know, but everyone's getting. You know how this show goes.
I know
right?
it does.
It's The Hangover. They sort of direct it.
Ah, Oingo Boingo.
See that now? Go
Yeah,
ahead, talk.
I do love Oingo Boingo.
Everything they did.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Elfman's cool.
What's an underrated genre of music? I'm trying to think.
Underrated genre.
Genre, yes, an underrated genre like that. Like because there's look. The problem with music.
See, I'm not a music expert or like so there's a lot of music I like because I could listen to pretty much any genre. Maybe with the exception of there's even some country music I like, but not a lot. Like the older stuff, like Johnny Cash. You know?
Okay, so.
But I could listen to almost any genre if I could find something good from it.
So someone's with you with the '80s. Now I am a total child of the '80s. Okay, the '60s was not I didn't grow up in. I was born. Well, I'm not gonna say it, but anyway. Long story short, yes, I was an '80s magnet. That's when I grew up.
Blondie, I love Blondie. Blondie's awesome.
You could take the '60s, get rid of the '70s because there technically are a lot of bands in the '70s that start out in the '60s. Okay, the '70s was sort of like a midpoint. A lot of
Cramps.
No, but the Cramps were inspired by a lot of '60s stuff.
They were inspired by a lot of '60s, '50s rockabilly music.
But they were still prolific in the '80s.
They did a ton of like rockabilly covers too.
But the Cramps were more in the early '80s.
They started in the late '70s.
Yeah, but they bled over into the '80s, which you can
80s and '90s. They were around till 2009 when Lux Interior died.
Yes, Marigold, Golden Night. Yes, Slim Whitman. No.
Slim Whitman.
If it wasn't for Mars Attacks, nobody would know.
Devo's cool too. Devo's awesome.
That's '80s. That's
Devo's
still,
'80s.
That's
Yeah,
still,
I love the '80s stuff.
What about because '70s starts out with folk rock and then goes into disco.
Disco's fun too.
I like disco, but
disco's cheesy, and that's why I like it.
But
it's kind of like polka music.
But your saving grace is disco bleeds into the '80s. So if you're gonna take 1980 to 1989, you still have some disco, so you're good. You don't lose all disco. Runaways. Now, as you know, Joan Jett is probably one of my favorite. Like
he's a big Joan Jett fan.
Huge Joan Jett, huge Runaways.
Well, I love Joan Jett too.
Come on, those people, women, whatever, rocked. Okay, period. Those girls kicked ass. Just saying.
They do.
And all of the, Lita
Joan
Ford.
Jett's still awesome.
How could
Lita
you go
Ford
wrong?
is still awesome.
I mean, awesome musicians that actually wrote stuff in them. And
Donna Summer. I love Donna Summer too.
Last Chance, The Last Dance, one of my favorite songs. Cramps were influenced by Ghoulardi, huge, of course. Yes.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Ghoulardi and the Ghoul. Well, they had a whole album called "Stay Sick."
And one of them. Here's an underrated musician, Wendy O. Williams.
Wendy O.
Come on, watch some. If you don't know who Wendy O. Williams is, do yourself a flavor.
Wendy O. Williams was amazing.
If you want to see some stuff that you'll never see now.
She was crazy
with
cool.
all that kind of flaky stuff that's out there now.
She had this giant mohawk and would smash TVs.
Well, their whole thing, they'd have a car on stage, right? A real automobile.
And she would...
They would destroy it with sledgehammers while they sang, burn it. It's crazy great stuff.
It was crazy.
Stuff you'll never see now.
I've never seen any new...
Plasmatics.
The Plasmatics, that's right,
It's
yes.
stuff, it's like insane. It's, between Ramones, Ramones were never that crazy.
Ramones were more like...
Poppy punk.
More upbeat punk. Kind of like the kid-friendly punk.
Will's messing with everybody. MacArthur Park. Oh, who left the cake out in the rain? That AM stuff.
So here's some
that,
info that's useless. If you guys remember the game Super Mario Brothers 3 for the Nintendo, there was a Koopa Kid. That's back when they called Bowser King Koopa. And they had the different Koopa Kids. So there was a Wendy O. Koopa. All the Koopa Kids were named after musicians. There was like Ludwig von Koopa. There was Wendy O. Koopa. And Koopa, I think she had a funny hairdo like Wendy O. Williams.
I think we hit it's late, but we hit the vein tonight. Okay, so you got a couple things in a row here that you would love.
Useless information for the night.
We got Ramones and we got Weird Al Jr. Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al. Weird Al.
I love Weird Al Yankovic.
Alice Cooper.
And Alice Cooper. Weird Al Alice Cooper.
You might not have Kiss if you didn't have Alice Cooper. Just saying.
Alice Cooper's awesome.
Cranberries. Okay.
The Cranberries? Nah.
The 90s held the last promise,
Meh.
and after the 90s went out, sorry, 2000s
Meh,
people.
they're okay.
You know, it's all. You tell me. I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
Kinda
Iggy Pop was a nut. I love him.
Iggy Pop's cool.
Trent Reznor. You know, yeah. I mean,
There was a Reznor Koopa. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what is this?
Yeah.
Koopa?
So in Super Mario Brothers 3,
Okay.
there were Koopa Kids you had to fight at the end of the levels, and each Koopa Kid was named after a musician. So we're talking about music and some I don't know. It popped into my head, the classic game.
There's a couple good things. I don't
Cyndi
know.
Lauper,
I have no idea.
yes.
I don't know. I have no idea who Cyndi Lauper is. But
Cyndi Lauper.
But Cyndi Lauper I love. And Ellen Bloom's is Funkadelic now.
Funkadelic's awesome.
Now you're talking about stuff that's next level back in the day. That was 70s though.
That was 70s.
Look up some of the mid or late 70s Funkadelic performances on YouTube. It will blow your mind.
So awesome.
The visuals on stage and some of the giant
all the crazy outfits they'd wear and the
sets and stuff.
Oh
very
my gosh.
insane. There's one of a giant mouth smoking a huge doobie. It's crazy. Like wacky stuff. Way ahead of their time. Ray Stevens is a genius. I'm just saying. He is. Motorhead Lemmy, rest in peace, a genius.
Yeah, Lemmy's awesome.
The guy always sounded like he was taking a crap. Oh, yes, I'm not falling asleep. But that how did he sing like that all the time? I don't know.
No, that's going to be in my head anytime I would.
Ace of Spades! Ace of Spades!
No, who loves Frank Zappa?
Now,
Frank Zappa, he
that's an acquired taste.
I think he's from another planet.
Frank Zappa.
I don't think he's from Earth.
Not a human being, right? I think he's like Prince and Michael. He's from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that guy was a genius. Yes, he gave us a lot of great music and a lot of spaceship. You mean Starship? Yeah. Frank Zappa was. But again, not your typical mainstream musician. A very acquired taste. You have to be into that stuff.
Ace of Spades. Do they mean Ace of Base?
Ace of Spades. No, that was a Motorhead song. You know, Lemmy.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Ace
of Ace of
yeah.
Base.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Funkadelic, unparalleled. I mean, Maggot Brain. Does anyone know what that is? Remember I played that for you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy song. I mean,
That is.
got you would think, oh, it's funky. It's like very rock and roll, and not even. It's like psychedelic stuff. You gotta listen.
Weird stuff.
If you have not heard Maggot Brain, look up Maggot Brain.
ELO. I love ELO.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's the 70s. You know, 70s has a problem. Yeah, I love all the 70s stuff. I think music died for me in the late 90s, and it just like got into nothing. You know, after the grunge thing, it's just all the same stuff.
Late 90s, early 2000s had all that like pop stuff and.
The Mothership Connection, P-Funk, all that stuff.
Just wasn't that good.
Baby Baba, I know all that. Man, there's so much. Ace of Base is good too. One song they did. That, you know,
yeah, I mean they're okay.
Name their catalog. You don't know that.
They're okay. They weren't around very long. I don't think they're still,
still around. Frank Zappa. No, Frank Sinatra was definitely not anti anything. But Frank Zappa might have been. He was like a very natural dude, right? You know.
Yeah.
My gosh, Boris Pickett. Now that is a
Bobby Boris Pickett.
Bobby
the
Harvey.
Monster Bash.
You know,
or the Monster Mash.
Monster Mash. But what's really weird about that album, every song sounds just as good as the Monster Mash. Have you listened to it?
There's a lot of fun tunes on there.
It's great.
Yeah, it's like a fun Halloween album.
It's weird. You're like, okay, that's a novelty song. You got to grab the Bobby Pickett album, the Monster Mashes. Like every song sounds that like that. It's good. It's cool. Okay, the Pixies. Now I have to admit, I played in the band for a while, and they wanted to play a Pixie song. It was "Where Is My Mind?" So I played that. It's okay.
Yeah.
I just wasn't a convert. I just don't like all the. It just wasn't for me.
I'm not a Yeah.
I don't know. Devo, you know, a couple songs.
But going back to the novelty records, like Monster Mash, I don't remember. Was that from you or did someone else? We have a 45 of Dinner with Drac from Zachary.
Oh yes.
Where did we get that one from?
I think I picked it up for you.
Was that from you?
I think so.
But I love those vintage Halloween novelty records.
Yeah.
And I'm always on the lookout, and it's the holy grail.
Ooh.
The holy grail of records, to me anyway, would be the oh gosh, what was it?
This topic could maybe turn into the day
I got distracted
the
now
day
from
the music
comments.
died. Okay, what were you saying about
Not Gulita. What's her name?
You're talking about
Tarantula Ghoul.
Tarantula Ghoul.
Yeah, Tarantula Ghoul. If you guys ever see a little 45 record called Tarantula Ghoul,
You'll never find it.
that is the holy grail of vinyl.
It's so yeah.
And there's a remake of it that people were charging like a lot of money just for this reproduction. So I'm always on the lookout for that. I love those vintage like Halloween novelty like rock records.
So now I see people bringing up like stuff. I don't know what Sinister.
Midnight Syndicate. Ooh.
Now, okay, now their
records are very collectible. They only made like a limited number of their vinyl.
When you're out and about looking for cool music, to listen to atmospheric, spooky horror music.
Midnight Syndicate is awesome.
And these are the nicest people. They've let about every horror host, with their permission, use their music for their. Once you start listening to it, you'll figure out who's using what. But they, if you can find these CDs.
Yeah.
We find them every now and again in thrift stores. I pick them right up. You know, I'm like, ooh, a Midnight Syndicate. Boom, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm keeping this one. $1, I'm done. You know, $2, whatever.
I know, like when they used to set up at Cinema Wasteland, I think I bought a couple of their vinyls, and they're like numbered.
Oh, now those isn't hurt.
I guess they're super hard to find.
Yeah,
but
who knew that?
I'm hanging on to mine because they're so amazing. I love that.
But if you ever come across out there, especially CDs, if you're looking through stuff, if you see Midnight Syndicate, buy it. You won't regret it. It's beautiful, instrumental, atmospheric, themed horror type music.
Yes, it's like the perfect spooky background music,
Yeah,
and it's all
great.
instrumental, and it sounds very goth, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, we're not getting into these like weird like obscure bands. I mean, because then where do you stop?
It's
there?
that Stump the DJ game. I think people are doing that.
That's the one thing I hated when I used to DJ was when people try to stump me with obscure
stuff.
song,
Tarantula Ghoul and her Gravedigger. Yes, Naoko, that record's very hard to find. Tarantula Ghoul. She asked. Wow. Tarantula Ghoul was actually Portland, Oregon's first horror film hostess in the 1950s.
And why did she get? She didn't last that long. Why?
She was on TV for maybe a year or two. Didn't last very long, and then she also had was in a rock band.
Because she got pregnant out of wedlock.
Yes, she got pregnant out of wedlock, and in the 50s that was a no-no. Yeah. So. They canceled her show.
Oh, there's one of your other favorites, Typo Negative.
I wish they would have kept her on because, unfortunately, no one saved any video of her either. How cool would that be to see video of her show from the 50s?
What I will say is that when people start and that's fine and that's great because that's how I learn about new stuff. Please post the stuff that you like because the good thing is that there's probably tons of good stuff here that's not mainstream, right? That we won't know.
Right,
Fetus,
and people
Buddy Holly.
People can look it up for reference.
Yeah. Fetus from Gunsmoke. I don't know what that is. I might like it, but I don't know what it is. So please post that stuff so we can look it up and check it out. Good stuff.
Yeah.
There is no bad here.
Yeah, so it's just the obscure ones we may not know about.
It's
so
just hard to comment on.
It's hard to comment on if we don't know the band, so we'll have to look it up later.
You'd be dang sure that we'll look it up. I mean, because I love finding. That's how I find out about some of the cool stuff. Is because people, the hipper people, because I'm not hip.
The Thrift Reader, they don't even have much of Vampira video. That's right. Yeah, they didn't think to archive things back then when those shows were first coming out.
But Vampira didn't even, I think, lasted maybe a year.
Vampira only lasted maybe a year or two, and she even made Time Magazine in, I think it was 55.
The impact was so big, right?
She made appearances on other talk shows.
But her show in California, I think, lasted no more than a year.
It didn't last long, unfortunately, and she was way ahead of her time. Back then, she was Guinness Book of World Records. She was in the Guinness Book for having the world's smallest waist. She had a 13-inch waist. She did the corset thing, and she looked like she could snap in half. It was like so. It was like ah.
You got a phone number? Oh, just kidding.
If you know the ways of necromancy, you can bring her back.
Oh,
but yeah, Mila Nurmi was her real name.
Yes, and what did she do after that?
She worked these odd jobs like installing carpeting and just doing like I guess she was having trouble finding work as an actress. She did get some Hollywood gigs as like a minor actor in.
But in heavy makeup, where you would never even notice it was her.
Yeah, but you didn't recognize her.
That's the thing. Like, if she was still around, could you imagine?
I guess she was best friends with James Dean too.
I mean, like if she could be young enough to still be viable to go out to conventions without what's going on now. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the damage she could do?
Well, I guess she did make some appearances.
But nothing like she would do
But
now.
nothing like, yeah.
I'm just saying, if all things could be good and we didn't have what the situation going on now.
Was she in Plan 9? Yes, Albert, she was in Plan 9.
Yes, she was, yeah.
But at the time, she didn't take a speaking role in Plan 9 because at the time she thought being in that movie was beneath her.
Right.
And her show was still on the air, and she was trying to be, I guess, go to that next step with her career. And then it just ended up tanking because maybe people thought she was too risque, or for whatever reason, the show was canceled.
But if you want to see one of her last appearances, check out if you can find a movie called American Scary.
American Scary.
She's interviewed in there, and thank gosh that they got her.
I think it might be on Amazon.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
But it's called American Scary by a good friend of ours.
Yes,
Sandy
Clark. He put that documentary together.
And we were like maybe 2 years away from being in that documentary.
Yeah, we were a little too new to be in that.
But I don't know. Maybe one day we'll be in some sort of horror host documentary. Who knows? We don't care. We're just happy to be here hanging out with y'all tonight. That's right.
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff. You guys are really taking it to another level here.
Yeah, so well, it's great because we'll have a few topics or a few things in mind, and then you guys just run with it, and we end up talking about food and beer and music.
That sounds like me on any given night talking about that stuff. I love it.
It's funny.
Sandy, Naoko likes that's funny.
Maybe she thinks it's a funny name.
It is, right. Like Sandy Beach.
Yeah, there you go.
Who dated Orson Welles?
Oh, Vampira?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe she did. I don't recall.
I'm sure Orson back then.
I don't know every detail.
Pulled a lot of you know what back then when he was a huge guy.
Orson Welles was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was the man back in those days.
Plan 9 is one of my favorite flicks.
It's a great movie.
It is an awesome movie.
Anybody that says it's a bad movie.
Plan 9 is just perfect.
They haven't seen a real bad movie.
Yeah.
Kick it up a notch.
Well, gang, it's...
there's a good question.
What's up?
Your opening theme, did you write that? Yes, I did. I wrote it, I righted it, and I composed it.
Yes, Grimm put the music together, and...
that might mean they might not like it, but who knows?
Some people that have horror-hosted shows that are on television or online, some of them have a crew they work with. We are the crew. We write, we edit, we produce it, we put together our sets, our costumes. So, yeah. We put everything together, kind of like Ed Wood style, you know.
And then they're going off on tangents like, Orson Welles. Some of the best Orson Welles stuff to me is the outtakes from his recording sessions in the 70s when he was doing stuff like wine and frozen peas.
Oh, no.
Look those up on like celebrity rants. You know, they got Casey Kasem, Orson Welles.
Where they just lose their cool and
William Shatner from Captain Kirk. They're great. You should look those up on YouTube. They're just audio bits. I don't think there's no video. But my gosh, they'll crack you up because these guys, look, they wanted to be in and out. They wanted to do the commercial, and you got these engineers in their tone that maybe do it over. They ain't having it. They berate these guys. They like beat them up verbally. Check out Casey Kasem, Orson Welles, William Shatner on maybe celebrity rants.
They are really funny.
They're great.
These big name celebrities, and you hear them lose their cool.
I guarantee you will cry laughing. They're so great. These guys are so vicious. It's great.
All right, gang. Well, I think we're gonna wrap everything up for now.
Well, we just started getting going here.
I know, but we're approaching the hour mark.
I know.
And I'm getting to be one tired little mummy.
Yeah. Everyone's like.
So I need to crawl back into the sarcophagus and go to bed.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I'll shut everything down. Thanks everybody for joining us. Why don't you stand up and give me a hug?
Why?
Just to give me a hug.
No, Grimm.
Just kind of.
I know what you're trying to do.
Oh, come on. You're no fun. And you can give me a hug and walk away. Come on.
No, Grimm.
All right. I tried,
okay,
everybody.
Here's a hug.
That ain't good enough. All right, everyone. Well, you know what? We're going to wrap it up for tonight's Hairy Scary Hangover. Thank you for joining us for episode number 16.
Episode 16 of the Hairy Scary Hangover.
Yeah, they're going to just keep going.
Hit the like button, hit subscribe, click the little bell next to the subscribe button so that way anytime we do this or upload a video, you out there will be the first to be notified.
Man, you guys are killing me. You guys got so many good comments coming through. Yes, we miss Robin Williams too. That was a great guy. There was a couple of people I wish were still living nowadays. He was definitely one of them.
Yeah, Robin Williams was amazing.
But anyway, yeah, good night, everybody.
Good night,
good
good
fright.
fright.
Yes. And we'll see you next time on The Mummy and the Monkey's
Hairy Scary
Hangover.
Hangover.
Woo. Where's my Alka-Seltzer? Whoa, look at that.
I'm tired.
You're sexy.
Jeez.
And where's my cursor?
There we go. End the stream. End the stream.